Well, everyone, let's go ahead and see how iOS 26 pretty much holds up and compares against One UI 8 and see which one is the better update for you. Now, the thing I will definitely tell you between these types of phones and these types of updates is that if you are kind of about to go through and pick up one of these types of software updates, you have to keep in mind that both of them are going to be giving you a little bit of a different type of experience. Now, within One UI, within iOS 26, let's probably start with this one. There were a lot of cool little features that were kind of added within it. Now, number one, it kind of gave you this new liquid glass type of, a layout, which I thought was really nice. I kind of personally, liked seeing this type of capability. It looked really, really cool. It was a nice thing, but keep in mind that you can also replicate a lot of it on a lot of different operating systems as well. You were getting visual intelligence improvements, which was nice, some lock screen improvements. You're getting some cool things in the messages application, which actually allowed us to go through and change out our backgrounds and kind of get some more changing capability inside of our One UI, inside of iOS 26 for our iPhones, which was something that was actually very, very cool. So personally for me, I was a really big fan of that, and kind of getting that type of capability here was something that was actually really cool. It's a much more polished version of iOS. However, there are bugs, there are issues, and hopefully it will end up getting better over time. Within One UI 8, this particular version of software is kind of stemming from Android 16. So it's like Android 16 built on top of One UI's version of Android. So Samsung's little tweaks and stuff that they kind of added, which is actually really nice. Now you do have a new thing called the adaptive lock screen clock. So the clock will basically adjust its position and size around the people, around the pets that you have in your wallpaper. And that is actually something that's pretty cool. And for me personally, if I'm, kind of Samsung, I think it was a nice move because it kind of looks just like on iPhones a little bit. So that was kind of something that was kind of cool. Now, there's one thing that some people aren't really that big of a fan of, and that is that new now bar or now brief that's on the lock screen. So on your lock screen, you kind of will get a little bit of a layout of kind of what's going on in your device and news and things like that. And that's going to be at the bottom. Now you can turn it off, but that is kind of a cool thing that they kind of threw in here for the most part. Now there's also some new capability when it comes down to some personalizations with Galaxy AI. So it's a lot more integrated. Apparently it's has improved security, things like that. There's also Samsung Dex that got a lot more of an improvement here as well. So it looks like it's a lot more, worked up. It has its, options that kind of got a little bit better. And that's something that's actually really cool. So I think when you kind of take a look at it from that side, they both brought some really cool things. I think that's something that's really awesome. You still get a little bit more of an improvement with customization inside of these applications. I will say Samsung probably offers a little bit more when it comes down to the customization part because you're able to install different launchers and different things like that. With their ecosystems, One UI 8 and with iOS 26, they both gave us a few more options, a few more feature updates for their, ecosystem devices like AirPods and Samsung Galaxy Buds with Galaxy AI features. So there were some improvements when it kind of came down to that. I will say both of them are still going to have to, work on some things. With iOS 26, I feel like Apple's going to have to focus on stability, getting those devices, a little bit more stable on that version of software because they support so many of them. The older ones can definitely feel a lot more bogged down. With Samsung, one of the main issues I have with One UI 8, just like with previous versions of One UI, is that their updates come out so sporadically. And the Galaxy S25 will get the update, then the S24 later on, then the S23 later on. And I'm hearing conflicting reports even if the S22 is getting it. So when their devices get their updates is so confusing to me always. And hopefully Samsung will end up fixing that. But Apple still kind of wins from that standpoint in my opinion. So that is kind of how One UI 8 and iOS 26 kind of compare. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.